This is Jamango, a new platform that makes creating games as fun as playing them. It uses an intuitive visual scripting language a bit like Scratch, and has block-based world-building tools like in Minecraft. And in this video, I'll speedrun making a Jamango game in just 3 minutes, then see what can be done in 30 minutes and 3 hours. Thanks to Jamango for sponsoring this video. I genuinely think it's a great platform, or I wouldn't be making this video. Now with that out of the way, let's get right into it. Starting with the 3-minute game. It'll be a game where zombies are spawning around you, and you'll have to attack them to survive. And start. And I'll start the timer as soon as the world loads, which is right now. Alright, so we have 3 minutes to make this game. All we really need is the level and the zombie. So I'm going to start by building out the level. I think I'm going to make it out of these planks, how about? So it's basically just going to be a big box, because I don't think I have time for anything else. So I'm going to go here, out to like here. And then we can press B to fill it. And here's our level. Next, I'm going to place a red block in the center. That'll be where the zombies spawn. Actually, first, we need a zombie. So, I'm going to go to characters and create a character. Call it zombie. Get an enemy. Make him look more zombie-like. That looks like a zombie. And now that we have our actual character, we can go ahead and script it. So we will create a new script. Zombie, good enough. Game start, we want it to be going forever, so we can use a while loop. Check this, in the while loop, it will just go on forever. So during the loop, we want to spawn a character. We can set the behavior so that the NPC will, and attach item. Finally, we want to wait. So that's about it, except we want to give the player a weapon. So go to character, equip item. I'm going to go on interact and equip it to the character. And we'll go give the character a spade as well. And that should be our game, with 1 second to spare. Now let's play it. So immediately there's a zombie spawning, and if I interact with this block, I have a spade now. So I can spam and kill all the zombies. Well, it's not much of a game, but for 3 minutes I think this is pretty great. The zombies are chasing me, and if I get too close, they'll deal damage. Now let's see what I can do in 30 minutes. And the timer starts now. It's going to be a similar concept to the first game where you have to run around and kill zombies, but we have a lot more time. So this time I'm going to start by building out an actual level. I have an idea where there's going to be a big tower in the center, and then around it there will be a lot of trees and rocks and things. So I'm going to start out by building the tower. Make it out of cobblestone, and over here. Then I'll build up the wall. And then once we have this, copy this. And the fourth wall will be here. And I also want a ramp up to the second floor. Because I found that staircases are a bit glitchy in this game. A ramp is probably a good idea. And now we have a ramp up to the top. But there is no top, so I'm going to build that out. That's the tower finished. Next, I built big walls around the map. And next, I'm going to put in some trees. So I'll get the wood and leaves. What I'm going to do is build a tree, and then I'll copy and paste it around the map. Build a big green box, basically. And then I'll make it fancier by sculpting it out. Okay, then I selected the tree I built and created a blueprint from it. If we go into blueprints, we have a tree. So I'll just rotate this around randomly all over the map. Now that we have the environment, it's time to actually program the game. So I'm going to start out by creating a zombie like I did in the first game. Make it an enemy, and I'm going to create a script that will spawn the zombies from the 4 corners of the map. Starting in this corner, and we'll create a new script. So then we can attach this to blocks around the map, and it'll spawn zombies. So on game start, spawn character. And then we want a while loop, so it'll go on forever. And then we want to wait a random number. Set behavior. So then the NPC will set it to attack with the spade. So if that works, you'll see that this guy will spawn, which is just what we want. Okay, so we can add zombie spawner. And then, now that the zombies were spawning, I coded a script that gives the player a spade when they join. And I also added a particle effect that appears when you kill a zombie. Bang. I decided now would be a good time to make a UI, where you can see how many zombies you've killed. New, custom UI, basic indicator, score. Next I made a script that shows each player the UI with the amount of zombies they've killed. Start game. Score 0. And then score 1. What I'm actually going to do is work on setting the time to night. So we go into world and environment, and then set fog color to black. The final thing I want to do is change the particles around one block higher, because at the moment the particles clip into the ground. Add these little pillars on top of the castle, and with 8 seconds to spare, the game is complete. Now let's play it, and play. I spawned in, and now there's an actual tower, and there's a map, and those zombies are spawning, and I'm gonna see how many I can kill. Okay, that's 1, 2. The particles look nice. See if we can get to like 20. There's a little hole in the wall. Whatever, too late now. 19 and 20. There we go. Okay, now onto the 3-hour game. Before I start on the 3-hour game, why not go like the video and subscribe to my channel now? It's free and it helps my channel a lot. Now back to the video. Okay, time for the 3-hour game. Let's get right into it. So for the last time, the timer will start now. Since I had so much more time for this game, I decided to build a whole castle instead of just a tower. So I'm going to use the stone bricks like before, so that's a good start. I'm going to build one section, then I'm going to copy it around 4 times. I built up all the walls for this section of the castle, and then I added in the ceiling. And then at the top, we'll have like a fence. And boom. I used the pencil tool to select what I built so far. Then I copied and pasted it around 4 times to create the full castle. Okay, so this is a castle. This is a good place to do a door. That works. You can now get into all the hallways, and maybe in the center will be where all the weapons and things are. So Jamango actually has something called the asset store. You can download all different packs of new blocks and new blueprints and things. So I found that there's actually one called Jamango Blueprints, Trees, and it adds a whole bunch of different trees. So I think I'm gonna place them randomly around the world. Now that seems pretty good. Now that all the trees were placed, I made the ground grass and built walls around the level like I had in the 30-minute game. Okay, I'm gonna work on making the actual game. I think I'm gonna use these red blocks to make zombie spawners. And I'm gonna do them in each of the 4 corners. So, create a new script. Zombie spawner. This part is basically the exact same as the 30-minute game. I coded the zombie spawners and placed one in each corner of the map, but I need a weapon. So I'm gonna start creating some space in the center where you can buy weapons. So I'm gonna use the spade spawner, rifle spawner, Wild West pistol spawner. The Zapper assault rifle is very overpowered, and it's a lot of fun, so I'm gonna include that, and that. And then on the other side, I'm gonna have custom weapons, but I'm not doing that yet. For now, I'm just gonna program these. I don't want it to be free, so I want to add a money system. This is probably gonna get really complicated, but so I'm gonna go custom indicator and basic indicator. Money, coins, 0. Just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and create a script, coins. So on peer join, which is whenever a player joins, entity set state coins to 0. And this will be a world script. Okay, we'll just call that coins. And then we'll create a new one for UI. On entity state change, coins. Show basic indicator. Coins to that user. 0 coins. We want to make these things viable with coins. This ended up being a very complicated script. Basically, the script sees whenever a player picks up a weapon. The script checks a list of each weapon's price, and if the player has enough coins it will take the coins away, but otherwise it removes the weapon since the player can't afford it. This is a pretty cool system. I'm proud of how this works, especially because it's all in one script. I could also put some like torches on the walls, maybe. So now we have that. I'll go ahead and create a prop. Call it torch, add script, edit script, particle spawn, campfire. It does actually work, except I'm gonna need it to face the right direction, and that can go there. There we go. That's just what I want. Now I'm going to create some custom weapons for my game. So basically how building weapons works is you can build a giant version of the weapon, and then you can make it into an actual item using Jamango's item tools. So one thing, since this is Jamango, a mango launcher, like if I build a giant mango, I'm going to use these yellow birch leaves. It's a mango. Select from here to here, create a blueprint. Mango. Now that we have that, I'm gonna build a mango launcher. Now that looks pretty good. Create a blueprint. Create an item. Item. Behavior type. Ranged weapon. So it's a little big. It's slightly big. 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. So that's good. I think it's pretty silly. It's like really big, but it's still reasonable enough. And I'm gonna make like one of these things in the center where you can buy one. Get a generic spawner block so I can create a new script. And boom. That is pretty cool. On interact with entity, equip item, and add mango launcher. That will cost 30. And that costs 30. Okay. So now time to actually program the weapon. On ranged weapon fire, spawn prop from blueprint in Mango. So hopefully this should work now. And it actually does. Okay, well that's pretty powerful, I'd say. I'm gonna make a knockback sword, so it just knocks them back super far. Making the knockback staff was basically the exact same as the Mango launcher, except it shoots these green orbs that deal knockback instead of actual damage. I'm gonna make like actual difficulty. So, zombie spawner currently just spawns the same zombie every few seconds. I edited the zombie spawner script, so it gives each one a random weapon instead of just a spade. The spade is the most common, then pistols, and occasionally a zombie will spawn with a very powerful one. I think it's all good, except in the last few minutes I want to add a timer. I'm going to see if I can pull that off. The timer essentially works the same as the score, except instead of changing when you kill a zombie, it starts at 300 seconds and counts down once per second until it reaches 0. Also, it's the same for everyone instead of unique to each player. Okay, so it's counting down. Perfect. The last thing is to add a leaderboard, so we can actually see the current scores. We have 1 minute left. Let's try to figure this out. Killer. That needs to go in there. Please work. This would be so cool if it actually worked. Yes, it actually works. And that is time. I think this game is pretty cool. I'm gonna play it now. So for the 3-hour game, I invited one of my friends to play with me. He's never used Jamango before, but all he had to do was click a link and join my game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that. I just gotta click faster.
Whoa.
I'll save you.
Wait, so if I get the funny gun. Laser rifle. Go up to the top of the castle. There will be a link in the description to play the 3-hour game for yourself. That's all for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.